Hey, what's up, family, friends, and foes? It's your girl, Philly Cigar, Jawn.
And your guy Chief, bringing you another episode of Sticks, Brims, and Stilettos. So you know what time it is. Grab your glasses and your sticks, and let's get ready to smoke another hot topic.
Hey, what's up, family, friends, and foes? I hope everyone out there is doing well. But most importantly, how are you tonight, Chief?
I'm hanging in there, Philly. Just been a little bit beside myself, but also feeling blessed today. Yeah. For those of you who haven't heard, or for those of you who have heard, just want to take a quick moment to recognize some folks that lost their lives. There was a bridge collapse in Maryland. In the blink of an eye, a cargo ship hit the side of the bridge, and unfortunately there are folks that lost their lives. So we just want to say our heart and prayers go out to the families who lost their loved ones traveling the bridge.
And we can give them a moment of silence.
Yes.
So, speaking, I want to stay there for a minute because I know we had a topic already planned for this evening, but because of the incident on the Key Bridge in Baltimore, because we are in Baltimore, you live in Baltimore, I work in Baltimore, we're always here, so it hits a little different for us, and especially for you, Chief. You can let the audience know your experience relating to that incident. But today I wanted to pivot, and I really wanted us to talk about the art of forgiveness and just being thankful. And with
Yes.
that being said, I know you are truly thankful today, but why don't you share with the audience why you're so thankful today?
Philly, I tell you, it really hits home for me because I traveled that bridge last night and Saturday night, and it was the first time I've traveled that bridge since 2017, when my oldest son had a job down there, and there's a couple times I gave him a ride to work. So what really hits home for me is I went down to Top Dollar Cigar Lounge down in Curtis Bay, Maryland, because Philly and I have been invited to film the show podcast from down there, and I thought it would be a great time to go down, talk to the owners, kind of see the setup. And so I did that, and I crossed that bridge going down, and I went in, I saw the spot, had a chance to talk to Norlene and Troy. Shout out to Norlene and Troy, the owners of Top Dollar, to show me where we would set up to do, the podcast. And then I just decided to stay down there. I had some work I needed to do on the show and the event that we have coming up. And so I just decided to take up a space in a little area that he's not even finished, completed. And so I sat, ate my food, did some work, and then I stayed until they closed. They closed up around 10:30, and I was the last one leaving out of there, which is not
usual,
which is not uncommon for me. So I packed up my laptop and my table, and so I left. End up leaving my cigar box. End up leaving my food. But I get a text message while I'm en route. As I was approaching the bridge, literally, I remembered I forgot my box. And in approaching the bridge, I would have had to go to the other side and come back to retrieve it. But since they were closing and leaving it, my buddy sent me a text saying, hey, they said you left your box. So I thought about it. I said, well, me and Philly are going to be together for a few days, that we can get some stuff done. We can just perhaps drive down. I can get my box then. So I would approximate that I was crossing that bridge about 10:50 p.m. And unbeknownst to me, roughly 2.5 hours later, the cargo ship hit the bridge, and people went in and lost their lives. And so I was not aware of any of that until I woke up early this morning, and I saw that you had sent me a text message at 4 something in the morning, showing me. And then I responded by saying that was the first time I knew anything happened. when I saw your text.
So let me pause you there real quick because I did send you the text early this morning. Because last night I was up. I couldn't sleep, so I got up in the middle of the night, started working on some things, and then I saw the news break about the cargo ship hitting the Key Bridge. And I took a screenshot and I sent it to you. I did not realize what time I sent you exactly that article. But when I looked down, it was 4:44. So those of you who actually know me know that I am really into numbers. Especially if you're into angel numbers, 444 is a representation of angels watching over you. So to know that and to know, because I didn't know. When I sent you that article, I did not know that you had just passed over that bridge, that evening, 2.5 hours prior to the incident.
Yes.
So it's just really how the universe sends you signs and, just how you are connected with people as well. But, so I know that hit differently for you because I'm quite sure when you have things like that happen, the near miss, it really make you stop and reflect.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to change the topic today to really talk about the art of forgiveness. Because it is an art.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they don't know how to forgive.
And I think more than an art, I think it's a spirit. You have to have the spirit of forgiveness.
Yes. And I'm gonna be honest. When I was younger, I was different. As far as forgiveness, because some folks, they don't like to forgive because they look at that as a sign of weakness. But if you truly, truly understand the art of forgiveness, you always got to keep in mind, forgiveness is about you, so you can release yourself. It's not about the person you're forgiving, but it's more so for you to have that 360, that completion, so you can move on from that situation. And that's the part a lot of people don't understand.
Yes. And when you don't bring yourself to atone, reconcile, and sometimes you have to do that on your own, on your side of the fence. You have to do that because the other person may never, try to reconcile or atone for things. So sometimes you have to do that. But it's very important because a lack of forgiveness can foster frustration. It can foster anger, anxiety. And what happens, we have to remember that we carry emotions in our organs. You can carry anger and anxiety and other emotional aspects. You can carry that stuff in your kidneys. You can carry that stuff in your liver. And so that's why it's very important. But to your point, yes, when you have those situations, here I am waking up saying those folks in those vehicles that lost their lives were simply doing the same thing I was doing, just traveling, getting from one side of the bridge to the other, right? And then never made it either home or never made it back home. And yes, it does do something to you. But I will tell you something. I did something last night that I always do. Like I literally, when I came in, got myself together, I fell on my knees and started, my nightly prayers before I go to bed. I was on my knees and saying my prayers before I got into bed last night. And so, and I remain prayerful and I remain thankful. And there's just been a lot of things that I've been praying about more heavily than others lately. There have been some people in my life that I have been really heavily praying for, and is asking the Lord to put a hedge of protection around them and at the same time around me. But I want to thank the folks out there that I may not even know about who were praying for me, who pray for me.
Absolutely.
Because I know I'm praying for some folks right now that don't even know that nightly I'm praying for them.
Same here. Because there is definitely power in prayer.
Absolutely.
I have been a recipient of that numerous times.
Hey, listen, I've been a recent recipient of some strong, heavy praying, where the Lord hasn't even been mysterious about answering it. Like, okay, this is what you've been praying for. Bam, here it is.
Right.
you know.
Right. So, going back to the art of forgiveness and really being thankful, because a lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot, but some people, they tend to focus on what they don't have. They could have a great job, they could have, a great marriage, they could, have the children they always wanted, but they will always focus on that one thing that they don't have.
Or
instead of being on the other side, being thankful for what they do have.
Or since we live in the digital age, or when you look at social media, people that at least are living a life that affords them to be able to enjoy life. You know what I mean? And that's subjective, enjoying life. But my point is this: people who go on social media and all they ever post is stuff that's geared towards the negative side about other people. Yeah, I don't care what, you've seen them. People put these posts up, and then you have people who put posts up like that all the time, to the point I've had to block people like that. Like, you know what? I don't want to always see this. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, who got your back when such and such and such. Yeah, and that's cool every now and then, because we have life experiences, right? And sometimes those life experiences impact us enough where we want to speak or write or project something for a short period of time. That's human. Right. That's nature. But to do it all the time, then I think you need to really kind of check yourself. Right. If you're always putting up some type of post or meme that errs to pointing something out negative about something or someone. Right. And to your point, because words have energy too. So absolutely. That speaks to the energy that they have about themselves. Absolutely. Someone who is constantly negative. Anybody who knows me knows, like, I like positivity. I like to be positive. I like positivity. I don't like nobody interfering with my peace. I used to tell you that all the time we first met. I'm good. I just have one request. Please do not disturb my peace, because I don't care who you are, family member, friend, colleague. When I feel like you're starting to constantly disturb my peace, that's when I have to remove myself from you. Right. Because it took me a long time to get where I am with the art of forgiveness. Really just sitting in my peace and being thankful for my peace, and just being thankful for all the things that I do have. So I protect that with everything that I have. Right. I am a protector of my peace. So when you start to chip away at that protection that I have for my peace, that's when I have to remove myself. And it's unfortunate, because I had to do that a couple of times with some so-called close friends. When you start to really find your peace, your energy starts to pick up other people's energy. Oh, easier, right? Yeah, you pick up the energy easier. Maybe in the beginning you don't recognize it, then you start to recognize a pattern. Like, damn, this person is always negative, always just a Debbie Downer, always, want to talk about other people, and you sitting in this place of peacefulness that it took you years to get to. So when it gets to that stage, you got to ask yourself, does this person belong in my life? Right. Is this person disrupting my peace? Right. And then you have the other side of it too, where you can have people who are never saying anything negative, always appear to be cool and upbeat when they're around you, right? But you notice you never talk to that individual unless you reach out to them. Yes. You notice you never have. You're not always invited to participate in things. You might hear about it later, and you might say, "Well, damn, I would have went to that. I would have went." Oh, I just recently found out about that, honey. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Or if it's about getting together to do something, you just happen to notice that you and this individual, they cool, they smiley, They friendly. They seem like they down for you. But, and it's not that you, and I'm going to be honest with you, you know, in fairness, people might say, oh, well, you keeping count of how I call you or when I call you? You keeping count of how I invite you? No, you're not keeping count until it starts to count.
It's a natural observance.
Yeah, you're not keeping count until it starts to count. Like, hold up, wait a damn minute here. You know what I mean? Yeah. It seems like
observation, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Because I have noticed that. Where even if it's from work or if I'm around someone who is affiliated with one of my friends, and I tend to have a little bubbly, nice personality. Hey girl, what's up? And I'm constantly being greeted with, you know, like you can't open your mouth, and I'm giving you this gregarious greeting, and I get the dry. So you tend to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
So people energy. Listen. You don't know whether. Here's what I will say, and I know you say I don't give you none, but I do give you some to grace. Because what I also had to learn to go to the art of forgiveness.
Grace, where you at, girl? She said she be getting. Where you at, Grace?
No, because when you get into that space and you know the art of forgiveness, what you tend to do once you're in that space, you don't always make it about you. And I had to learn that. So say if I'm constantly, sometimes, not all the time, if you're the one that's constantly picking up the phone, calling your buddy, whatever, then you realize, like, but hey, why am I always reaching out? I pause. And I tell myself and say, Billy, it ain't always about you. That person could be going through some stuff. So that's when you do the welfare check. Just say, hey, just checking in, making sure you're good, you were on my mind, whatever.
Well, I hear that. That all sounds good. That all sounds good. But what I'm saying is, and you're right about that, right? But I'm talking about the only time you find that you're communicating with this person is when you're reaching out. The only time you realize that you going out is when you give them an invitation. Then you find out they ain't necessarily including you in things. But here's what I'm talking about, aside from the grace, is when you go on social media, they got something to say about. It's different when somebody has become a recluse and they're not communicating with anybody. That's when you give folk grace. Right? But if for some reason you plan it up with me like we cool, but at the same time you're simultaneously doing alienating type things as well, then at that point, now for me, you and I are a lot alike when it comes to this. You only get to move like that with me for a very short, finite period of time. And anybody who knows me, first of all, I have a very, very small circle, very small. I have lots of people that I associate with, but people that I could have called this morning if I had been stuck on the other side of that bridge to say this just happened, thank God I didn't get on it, but now I'm stranded on it. There's a finite number of people that I could call that would be responsive to that. Now I could call a lot of people that would be like, oh, sorry to hear that, and go roll over and go back to sleep.
Call a Uber.
You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, right. You need me to say you come. But anyway,
I get what you're saying.
But you only get a small window of opportunity to deal with me like that, because I value me and I value my friends and family. And if you can't assign, a similar, because everybody assigns a value. It determines whether it's here or here. You assign everybody a value. So if I feel like you're trying to marginalize or diminish my value as a friend and or family member, then I know how to depart from that. Right? I'm not going to participate in my own marginalization. Come on, I ain't doing that.
And I totally agree. And it's so ironic because I just had a conversation recently with one of my very close friends, and she had brought up another friend that we were really close to. And, we have extended the olive branch several times to this person. And they would either not respond, or when they did respond, it was days later with a dry response. So how I am. Yo.
No.
Say less.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to remove myself.
Yep.
So my other friend, she's more like, oh, we should give them some grace. I said, let me stop you there. Billy always give me grace. I always try to see, from both angles. I always try to see it through their lens and my lens. And if 1 + 1 don't equal 2, and it's constantly like that,
ain't no sense of psyching yourself out.
That's where my grace is depleted.
Right.
Because to your point, I value my time. I know, and more importantly, I know what type of friend I am. All my friends, to you, just like you, I got a small circle of very close friends. I say maybe 2 to 3. They're very close, and they know what type of friend I am. I am that ride or die friend. Like, you call me middle of the night, say less, I'm on my way, whatever. So what you're not going to do, to your point, you're not going to marginalize my friendship. You're not going to act like, oh, well, yeah, I call her back, or she ain't that high up on my hierarchy where, I got to, reach out to her. She reach out to me. Because some people get into this elitist state, too. And I'm not her. So, yeah, I know I got off on a little soapbox. But
it's okay.
Yeah, it's because it's real rap, though. Especially when you know what type of friend you are.
Right.
See, now I'm getting heated. Let me pull myself back.
Don't get heated. Don't get heated.
Personal.
Don't let it get personal. Because I'm be honest, I'm happy to be sitting here. And again, my heart goes out to those people that lost their lives, and those families that have to deal with it. And it's human nature to say that you're thankful it wasn't you, but it's also human nature to say, wow, that could have been me, because I was on that bridge. And then for me not to have traveled that path for so many years, and then I go twice. I had been to the family, to the audience. I had been twice in 72 hours, and really 48 hours. I was there Saturday, and I went back on Monday. So within a 48-hour span of traveling a path that I had not traveled since 2017. So what's that, 7 years? A path I haven't traveled, a route I haven't traveled, a bridge I hadn't taken. And just think about it. Think about the word itself, the bridge. You know what I mean? Just think about the word itself, the bridge. Think about the word itself, collapse. A friend, I have to share this. I have to share this. A friend called me today. And not somebody I talk to all the time, or even, large gaps of time. And was like, and had some bearing and direction was off. But the point was on. It was like, hey, I was just calling to check on you because I saw this bridge collapse, and I know that you travel up the road to go to the Cigar Lounge because I see posts on your social media. And when I went to bed last night, for some reason I was getting a spirit of collapse. I don't know why I was getting this. This is what the person was saying to me. And then when I saw this morning, I said, wow, I wonder if Don was traveling to the Cigar Lounge or traveling from the Cigar Lounge when this happened. Let me call and check. So now here's the deal. First of all, it was a totally opposite direction. So the person just wasn't familiar with that part of the bearing of traveling, but was right on point with the fact that I was leaving a Cigar Lounge, just in a totally different area. But then just to get a phone call from somebody you don't even typically hear from, right, that thought about you and saw that situation. So again, you try not to internalize things. And I became real good at not internalizing things just by virtue of my former occupation as a law enforcement officer. Because if you internalize everything you saw on a daily basis, because you see things that the average person doesn't see, then you would put yourself in a bad state. So I became really good at managing not internalizing things. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I did internalize that today because it just seemed so close,
But I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason. And I'm not saying for the ones who lost their lives, but I'm talking specifically in your case. Look at the alignment there, right? I send you the message 444. That's an angel number of angels watching over you. You received a call from someone you don't speak to that often, asking if you're okay. So for me, that's almost like a moment of reflection.
Yeah.
You know, like, am I moving in the right direction? Am I moving the way the universe wants me? God wants me to move. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. Why was my life saved and
right.
others weren't,
that boat could have been there at any time.
Exactly. So this is the time of reflection
and like you said, thankfulness.
Definitely.
And grace.
And grace. All of the above.
Yeah.
So
because I'm here to give that.
Exactly.
I'm still here to give that. To give thankfulness. To give grace.
And maybe that was the purpose.
Yeah. To be able to thank for the blessing. Yes. Yeah.
So we got a little churchy, but I mean, this is raw emotion. This is just human nature, right? Things that make you reflect, those near misses, and shoulda, woulda, couldas, and sometimes, unfortunately, you need those type of situations to get you back on track, or again, to help you realize or help show you that you are blessed.
Yes.
That you should be thankful and you should be showing grace.
And that those prayers are working.
And the prayer works.
If there was any, and I never had a doubt, but if there was any doubt,
you know, it worked last
I've had, I'm going to share this with the family as we close out because we're coming up on 30 minutes. And not that I want to rush off this topic, but I will say this. God has shown me mercy and grace and has answered prayers because two significant things have occurred in less than a week's span. I was praying for a family member hard, and I mean just like that, you know what I mean? There was the presence of that family member, and I was able to reconnect, re-engage, and then help facilitate some things. And then the second thing is waking up, realizing that I made it across the bridge. And so those are significant things for me in a very short span that just lets me know that I just have to maintain my spirituality, my faith in Jesus Christ, and continue to pray for myself and pray for others.
Absolutely.
And again, Philly said, I think of it more spiritual than religious because whoever it is, you're most high, right. Who you deem as the supreme that you being that you pray to. For me, is Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior.
Well said. So again, I wanted to pivot from the other topic we had in store for this evening. I just thought this was just something that needed to be said, and it was just the right time to say it.
Never fret. We're gonna bring that other topic too, but I agree with you, Philly.
Oh, absolutely.
Timing is everything, and I thank you for pivoting from, because I know you called me excited the other day about the topic, so I thank you for pivoting, and this was somewhat therapeutic for me as well. So thank you.
And I'm glad and happy and blessed that you made it home last night.
Yes.